Hey guys, it's Drac, and I just did my review for the Nerf Zombie Strike Hammer Shot, which I think is super duper awesome. I think it's a really unique blaster with a really unique priming mechanism, and I like it a lot. But this video is not about that. This video is about the Zombie Strike Sledgefire. Again, we have a ton of jargon on the back, showcasing how it's got shotgun style stuff and shells. On the back it's telling us that it has ammo storage in the back, fires 3 shots at once through its mechanism, and that is generally how it's supposed to work. Now, I have an instant problem with this out of Nerf, in that buzzbee has been doing this for 12 years or so. This is not new technology. The idea of putting darts in shells has never been really good, so this blaster has to be awesome for it to overcome that shortcoming, because having to have shells to fire your darts is terrible. And in an HvZ setting, while a 3-round burst is awesome, the idea that you're going to have these accessories and keep them all straight and keep them sorted and make sure that they don't fall out is going to be a real pain and a huge issue. So I think that this blaster is going to be nowhere near as cool as the Hammer Shot, and I have high hopes that I am proved wrong, but I am not looking forward to this blaster nearly as much, which is why I did this review second. And without any more talking about it, I'm going to remove the 9 darts it comes with, no extras, that's sad, and start kind of carving my way through this packaging. The packaging is sweet. The blaster itself looks good. It looks just as good as the Hammer Shot. When we pull it out, oh, I missed one, the stock here. Alright. So getting the blaster out, it's kind of a pain, because this plastic also holds it in, whatever they're using to hold in the shells. I guess that's so that while they're on the shelves, nobody comes up and removes the shells. That would be a pain. God, this packaging is a nightmare. Alright. So here's the blaster in its entirety. We have some sort of priming mechanism. I probably should have read how this one works, but I think it's way more fun to just kind of figure it out on camera for you guys. So these are in here. They're actually reasonably sturdy. There's enough to store 3 of them, which is fine. They're clearly much more efficient. I don't like that they have these vent holes up at the top. I think that that's kind of silly. Maybe they're to prevent drag towards the end, but I think that this should be one solid piece. I think that they hold the darts nicely. They don't stick out like on the buzzbee shells, so that's convenient. I think that it's a huge upgrade on the system. I'm just still not sold on the system. This is going to have to get really nice performance for me to justify going out, picking up extra darts, picking up extra shells, loading up all my shells, because you're never going to have time in Humans vs. Zombies to load up your shells separately. If you are, your game is doing something wrong. So the priming mechanism looks to be built into the prime down here on the release, similar to how the old barrel brake used to work. I can feel that we're pulling something back on this mechanism here. There's another one of those goofy stickers. And we pull this back and the blaster is now primed. It looks like this is where we line up our air restrictors, which means that we probably remove one of these here, tuck it in facing this way. It kind of clicks into place, which is sweet. And I'm sure that if I sling this up, that'll come into place. And now we are chambered and ready to fire. I'm going to look down the barrel, which you should never do, but the Sledgefire now looks to be primed and ready to go. I'm going to kind of fire into my hand this first time. And it looks like all 3 darts have fired, so I kind of want to see how this ejects. And it looks like as soon as you pull it out, it ejects, which again is terrible for HvZ, because it means that in HvZ, your shells are going to be flying out every time you reload. You're going to lose shells. Shells are going to cost money, and unless you're sponsored, that's going to be really rough. And nobody should be calling Nerf and being like, hey, I lost all my shells playing HvZ, because nobody should be using this for Humans vs. Zombies. So while you get a huge thumbs up, Hasbro, for the Hammer Shot, this is a poorly designed product for Humans vs. Zombies. The shells are just a completely unnecessary kind of theatric deal. I'd much rather have one permanent shell built in here, load all 3 of my darts, and then cock, fire. So the blaster itself is very nice. The spread is reasonable. It looks to have about a 10-foot spread over about a 50-foot range. I feel like I'm getting about 50 with that angle shot. I feel like it would be slightly less shooting level. I'd be comfortable shooting zombies from about 25 to 30 feet with this, and I'd be reasonably confident in my ability to hit them. That said, I'd be much more confident with my Alpha Trooper, either the Death Dealer or an Elite Alpha Trooper, compared to this. It's a cool theatric blaster. The stock is very comfortable, very sturdy. I think it's a neat blaster. I like the way that the darts spread. I don't like the way that we eject the shells. I think that I'm getting a little bit redundant at this point. This blaster is really, really cool. It does not get a huge thumbs up from me. I would not tell people to buy this. Real quick, I do want to find out something. I'm curious about how it'll fire with one less dart, if that is going to impact the performance or not. Yeah, this is awkward to load. And the darts still fire, and if anything, they're firing further, which leads me to believe that this is one unified plunger tube, so the less darts you have in your plunger, the more power is going to go through one of these air restrictors that's depressed. So that is the Sledgefire by N-Strike Zombie Strike line, and I just combined two. It's not N-Strike, it's just Zombie Strike. And it is, as advertised, a goofy, gimmicky blaster. You're paying roughly 4 times what you'd pay for the buzzbee version, and while it is much nicer, and probably 4 times nicer than that product, it's just not good enough to do what it's designed to do. Save this one for like your living room with your siblings. Do not take this to a Humans vs. Zombies event. As always, guys, this is as honest a review as I'm going to give you for any and all foam blasters. Thanks for watching.